Good morning, 1 Million Cups family. Family means friends that are family. So I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see, I had a quote to share with you all this morning as entrepreneurs. So, as entrepreneurs, is it that we need more time or do we need more focus? So, ask yourself that question as you go through your day and see if you can be a little more efficient with your focus, which makes it feel like you have more time. All right, so my name is Flip Aguilera, and I am the founder of the Temple of Optimization and of Sophisticated Events. I'll take this time to talk about the Temple of Optimization, which is where wellness and self-defense meet. I've been doing wellness and stuff like that for over a decade. I've worked at the University of Miami. I have clients in Miami, New York. I have clients here. I work part-time at Garden of the Gods at the Strata Medical Building. So if you feel that your health and wellness are worth defending, let's have a discussion. 1 Million Cups is brought to us by the Kauffman Foundation, and what it is they like to get people together on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. to have a cup of coffee or tea, in my case, together and support each other as entrepreneurs. So that's basically what 1 Million Cups is. And now let's get into our sponsors and let's put our hands together as we welcome Kirsty Logan of the Sleepy Turtle Coffee Co., who is our coffee roaster, who's got plenty of things on her mind, engaging her mind.
Hey guys, my name is Kirsty. I'm owner of the Sleepy Turtle Coffee Company, a mobile coffee shop here in the Springs. I do wholesale private labels, special events, and I'm also getting into CSA distribution. So it's called Community Supported Agriculture. We are going to actually be here in the Next Us starting September 13th for a distribution of our community goods of organic products. So if you have any questions, come see me after. I will be giving more information later about that, but thanks guys.
I was telling her in the back, it sounds like it's time for an update presentation soon with all that new information. And let's put our hands together as we welcome Carla Wink from the SBDC and the BBB, who is our coffee cup sponsor. It's one of my favorite smiles. That's my middle name.
You're awesome. Hi, everybody. I am Carla from the Better Business Bureau. And so the SBDC, I'll represent them today as well, but I really wouldn't know what to say about them. So I'm going to make it very selfish. And you guys know that I've been talking about the BBB for Good the past couple of weeks. And I know we were talking about nonprofit today, which is awesome. With BBB for Good, it's a validation, really, for businesses that are doing good out in the community. And nonprofits are also eligible for that seal. But I also wanted to mention one new thing about the BBB is that did you know that we are also like a digital marketing company? You guys all know about the trust factor, but we have such a high domain authority. Out of a 1 to 100, we're a 92. So when you become accredited with the BBB and put that live logo on your website, then it boosts your domain authority as well. So Carla Wink with the Better Business Bureau.
Thank you, Carla. And Nico's not here, so we'll save him for later, but he is the actual coffee sponsor. So if he gets in here, we will get him up here. So just as a reminder, we're going to do community announcements after our presenter. Please silence your cell phones. Make sure it's on vibrate or whatever you need it to be on so that it's not distracting to the presenter and to anybody else. And with that, let's put our hands together as we introduce our presenter of the day, who is a senior library associate with the Pikes Peak Library District. And let's welcome Ben Dalby.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for having me here. I'm excited to be here to talk to you all. I'm here with Pikes Peak Library District, also known as PPLD for most of you. And more specifically, I work for the Creative Services Department. And so I know they said they were going to talk about nonprofit today, but they told me to come today. And so you're going to hear about creative services and all the awesome stuff that it can offer you and your business. So next week is going to be nonprofit. So make sure to come back for that. So I have been working for the library for, it's probably been about 7 years now. I came to Colorado Springs after college. I went to art school up in Denver for 3D animation. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to go be a part of like a big studio somewhere out in California. My parents lived here, and so I was like, what are some opportunities around here in Colorado Springs where I could kind of use the things that I was interested in I learned in school. And I went online and I found the library's website. And I was like, oh man, they offer lots of cool stuff. I needed to use a specific Adobe software to like edit my demo reel. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna check out this software and see what else they have. So I went there. I was able to use a nice computer with software that I did not have the money to use. And then I ran into something called a makerspace. And I was like, oh man, I've heard of these places, but I've never really been able to experience one. And so I walked in one day, learned about it, talked to someone that was working there, and applied for a position the next day. And I have been working for the library and their makerspaces ever since. And so the makerspaces are just one part of what creative services is. It is a new department within the Pikes Peak Library District. And I'm going to kind of explain to you all about what we offer and how it could potentially help you and your businesses with the different programs, resources, and services that we have. I brought some examples today that you all can browse after. I'll be pointing out some of them during it. And yes, that's what this little table is for. So, cool. Creative Services has a unique role within the library, and one of our goals is to connect people with what they need by offering unique resources and services beyond the traditional library experience. And so how many of you have been to a library recently, either virtual or physical? Okay, all right, cool. A few of you. And I'm curious as to what kind of experience you had in the library. Did you use it to check out a book? Did you use it to check out a movie? Did you use the online resources to find some reference information? Stuff like that is what a lot of people still relate the library to. And like, yes, those are things we all do. And you've heard from the law and the business librarian, very traditional services, awesome things. And but creative services does kind of breaks out of those traditional library boxes to offer different things. And so what we do provide are maker spaces, studios, a large community events hall, a programming kitchen, and the programs and services that are related to those spaces. And so this morning I'm gonna kind of dive into each of one of those and give some examples and stories about all of the awesome things that they can provide. Cool. What do you guys usually do at the end? Okay, cool. Yeah, we can hold your questions and then I'll answer all of them at the end. It can be about anything that I talk about. Cool, so makerspaces. Like I said, I love makerspaces. It is the main function of what I help in the library. I help on the front desk and in the back-end support role for them. And I love makerspaces. I could talk about them all day, but I'm gonna keep it short for this. So we have 4 makerspace locations around El Paso County. East Library, Library 21C, Sand Creek Library, and Manitou Springs, which we also partner with the MAC, which is the Manitou Arts Center. And they have a makerspace as well. That's more of a community makerspace. However, library card holders can access that space during regular hours for free, which is an awesome new resource that has only been around for a year or so now. Cool. So, equipment. The makerspaces have lots of fun equipment. 2 of our most populars are going to be the 3D printers and the laser engravers. And so they're super easy to get access to. All you have to do is, it's called badging. You watch a video, you take a quiz, and you can make a reservation online, and you can come in and you can use these machines. And so for the 3D printers, we've had lots of people, they come in with ideas and they want to create it. They want to create something from digital to physical. It is really good for the business sense if you want to rapid prototype something. It works quickly for that. You have your 3D model, you come in and you print it. This is like a little carabiner. This is one that you find that's just free online. However, we have had patrons who have come in to create their own carabiners, and they designed it online. They came in and they used the printers to prototype it to then move on to potential production and selling in the future. And so stuff like that, you read about it, but it really can happen, and it's pretty easy to access. A lot of people think 3D printers are also just like for trinkets and things like that, which, like, yes, you can definitely print that kind of thing, but you can do useful and practical applications as well. This is just an example of like one piece that is created that is a movable gear system, and so there are tons of applications for a lot of different possibilities. We have a 3D scanner as well. If people want to, let's say you want to create you need to create a digital asset for something, you can come in, you can scan it, it turns it from physical into a digital asset that you could then use for animation, VFX, stuff like that. The next one, so the laser engraver. The laser engraver is another super popular tool. Like the 3D printers, you just watch a badging video and take a quiz, and then you can make a reservation and come use it in any of our maker spaces. So it is really good for, let's say you all have logos. Most businesses do. Let's say you want to get your logo on some things. Pretty much, if it's wood or plastic or glass, you can engrave anything onto it using the laser. So this is just a little example of just like a coaster with a PPLD logo on it. And so you could set it up, print out a bunch of these, hand these out to people. Also, QR codes are super popular nowadays. You see QR codes everywhere. If you want to get a little creative and not just have it on like a printed piece of paper, you can also engrave QR codes on a variety of material, and it usually still works. So cork is a good example like this, and so yeah, it's kind of unique and fun. Awesome. Yeah, keychains, things like that. So yeah, lots of different things you can do with the laser, super popular. We have a CNC machine, pretty advanced. It's the most advanced machine we have. We have a badging for that, so if you all are interested in like learning how to create signs or something like that, the CNC is a super awesome tool. We also have even more things than that. Things that don't require like any trainings or badgings. We have sewing machines, everything from a basic sewing machine to a mid-level sewing machine to an embroidery machine. If you all have like some shirts or some polos that you got and you want to you want to embroider like your name, your logo, something like that onto it, you can come into the library, bring your shirt, and embroider whatever you would like onto it. The most that it takes is time. And so, yes, cool. Vinyl and die cutters, if you're trying to make stickers or things, this is like a little, I think someone tried to make a cat head or something, vinyl sticker to put on things. We have button makers, we have small tools. So our button makers are super popular. So if you all have anything you want to make buttons for, all of our maker spaces have button makers. And you can get 10 a day at our maker spaces for no cost. And so you could put sayings on it, you can put logos on it. If you can print it off on a piece of paper and cut it out in a circle, you can put it onto a button. They take like 30 seconds to make, and everyone loves buttons. So cool. Yes, and so that's the gist on the maker spaces. They're awesome places. I love them. The tour at the end of the month is going to be at Library 21C, which is one of our larger maker spaces. And so if you guys are interested in seeing some more of this in person, I highly suggest coming to that. And also at 21C is where one of our studios are. So the studios, these are awesome community resources that get used a lot, and they offer a wide variety of opportunities and tools and services for you all. So let's start with the one at Library 21C. The picture there with the green screen, that is the studio at Library 21C. It is primarily a video-based studio. However, it does have an isolated sound booth as well. And so this gets a lot of use through the community. People have come in here to, they'll shoot promos, they'll shoot commercials, they can do short films, they can record interviews. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can use that studio in order to get some video content. The staff there is super helpful and knowledgeable. So if you all want to use this resource, you go online, you make a reservation, and then you kind of give them a gist of what you're going to do, and then they will help you with your project. So let's say you want to do a video interview. You can come in, tell them what they're doing. They will help you set it up. They'll help you get the camera angles, the microphones, everything like that set up, and then you will pretty much be ready to go to record that. And so, like I said, we've had a ton of people come and use this space for just those things. And so if you all need to use that or know someone who needs this kind of resource, it's at the library. Our other studio is going to be Studio 916, which is down off South Academy, 916-80916. And it's primarily our audio recording studio. So that picture on the bottom there, that is there. And it is very popular as well. People will come into that studio to, they'll record singles, they'll record albums, they'll record podcasts, they'll record interviews, things like that. And they have a wide selection of microphones available, and they also have very helpful staff. So if you're based in that part of town, or if Studio 21C is booked up, which it can get booked up months in advance, Studio 916 is a great resource as well. We have had people come there, yeah, like I said, record albums, record singles. I think someone went and did a D&D podcast there one time, which was pretty interesting. So there are lots of options available there also. And then if you don't necessarily want to go to the spaces themselves, they do also check out equipment. So if you have something that cannot be done inside one of these and is, let's say, off-site somewhere, the studio also checks out equipment. So we have multiple DSLR cameras that can be checked out. So if you need to do photography or a little bit of video, you can use those. We also have large professional grade cameras as well that can check out with tripods and lighting as well to set something up, and microphones, audio recorders, things like that. And so along with all those, there also is the post-production as well of a lot of that, which includes video editing, audio editing, things related to that. The library offers computers and software for you all to be able to do that. A lot of that software can get pretty pricey, and so if you have those kind of projects that you're working on and you need to do some post-production, you can come in and use the library resources in order to get that done, so you don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on that specialty software. It is available at the library. So, cool. Awesome. So next is the Knights of Columbus Hall. This opened up fairly recently. We call it KCH. It is part of the Penrose complex downtown, and its mission is a space to thrive by the community for the community. And it is great if you all are seeking a large community events hall for some kind of purpose. It is generally geared towards the business, educational, and artistic communities. So we'll have resource fairs there for both businesses and for schools. They've had recitals there. They're trying to do concerts in the future. And so, yeah, if you all are in need of a large place that's easy to access and has parking, the Knights of Columbus Hall is a resource. Creative Services' newest addition is going to be a commercial kitchen that we renovated in Library 21C. And right now it is being used as a library programming space. Primarily it is focused right now towards starting out that library programming to offer to people. And we do a culinary workforce development program that is called FIT at the Food Industry Training. And so we have a few cohorts a year that come through, and it gives people the basic tool set to walk into any commercial kitchen to be hired as a prep cook or a potential line cook. And so we've gotten great feedback from it, and there will be more to come relating that in the future. And so, cool. So I just told you all about all these spaces and the machines and the things they offer. What about the programs and services related to those, and how would I learn how to use those things inside those spaces? So the first is feel free to ask questions. We have very knowledgeable staff at all of our locations and inside these spaces that are totally there to answer your all's questions. So if you all have something that you're trying to create or you're trying to figure out what to do, just ask us and we can find the right resource that you all can utilize to get done what you need to get done. Access to professional equipment, a lot of the stuff I just mentioned can be quite expensive, and so the library has purchased those items to provide to the community to use. And we love when people come and use those resources for awesome things, for promoting your business, for creating resources, things like that. So yes, machine training. Sometimes using a new machine can be intimidating and a little difficult. We try and make it super easy at the library to learn how to use these for your purposes. So if you want to prototype a design on the 3D printer, like I said, you just watch a video, take a quiz, and then you can come in and use it yourself. The staff are going to be there to help you all get going. Just like the laser engraver, you want to come, you want to engrave your logo on some things, cool, come with your logo. After you've watched the video, be like, hey, I'm here to use a laser. This is my first time. I got my logo here, and I want to engrave it on a bunch of glasses to give away to people. And so they'll be like, oh yeah, totally. Let me plug in this rotary tool for you that I can help you get it set up, and you can engrave a bunch of glasses. So yeah, the staff is always going to be there to help you folks. 2D, 3D design classes. So a lot of these machines require designs as well, whether they be 2D or 3D. We're starting to offer more classes related to those. So like Inkscape is a free software that you can download on your own computer. You create your design, you bring it in, bam. 3D modeling, there's a bunch of free 3D stuff online. But if you're getting a little more complex, you can make your own stuff and then come in and use the machines. The library also has a subscription to LinkedIn Learning, so formerly known as lynda.com. And so some people like to watch tutorials, online tutorials to learn things. And so you can do that. You can access thousands of online tutorials through the library's website on LinkedIn Learning. All you need is a library card. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. All you need to access any of this stuff is a library card. I've watched a ton of these videos over the years to learn different things. So like even if it covers things from like the Office 365 suite to like using Microsoft Teams to using Excel things like that, all the way to like using Adobe Illustrator and like advanced 3D modeling software. So if there's a software out there that you want to learn a little more about and you don't necessarily want to pay for a class, go to LinkedIn Learning and you can access it free of cost. Cool. And like I mentioned, software and computers, we have a bunch of those all over the district. Most of the fancy software is going to be focused in the locations with the makerspaces and studios. So Library 21C up north by the Chapel Hills Mall, East Library off of Union, and the Sand Creek Library down off of South Academy. And so in our, I guess, programs and classes related to these softwares, we do want to offer like education to people in order to how to learn new skills to use these. As entrepreneurs, you all are kind of jack of many trades as you do a lot of different things related to your business. And so when we offer these classes, we like to focus on some learning concepts called maker-centered learning and the 6 C's. And so maker-centered learning includes collaborative learning, troubleshooting, experimentation, applying knowledge towards individual interests, building confidence and flexibility, which are great skills. Also, it encourages the soft skills as well that are like educational for the sense of businesses. So the Colorado Talent Pipeline reports that a lot of these are very desirable skills, and so that employees are looking for, which you all might have employees, you might not have employees, but they are skills that are becoming more and more desirable and common inside the workforce. And the 6 C's are going to be character, citizenship, collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. And we try and focus a lot of these inside our programs to kind of encourage these kind of soft skills as well as developing transferable skills as well. You learn one thing, it's a little easier to learn another thing. And so, yes, if you're interested in kind of learning about any of these things, the library has a ton of programs and classes all the time. You can go online, look at the calendar, sign up for one, and come check it out. And I highly encourage you all to check out and see if there's something that piques your interest and come check it out. So, awesome. That was a quick presentation on creative services.
I'll bring the mic around.
Thank
if people
you.
have questions, I'll come
Yes.
to you with me. So my first, I was going to start off. I got the mic. Sure. I mean, yeah, you can decide. I'm going to ask the first question. And I might ask that we go through each slide again, because if other people were writing down their questions, it might pique them again.
That's totally
but
fine.
you mentioned something about making your own signs, CNC or something. What is that? How do you, like, what kind of signs? Is that what I'm guessing? Because I make a lot of signs for events, and they're very expensive.
Oh, okay, all right.
So what kind of signs did you
yeah, woods and plastics pretty much. So it's not like printed signs on plastic. It's more like wood-based signs, inlays, things like that. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
Go ahead.
When you say bring in your logo, how do you bring that in? Is it on a thumb drive or?
Yes, that is the ideal way. So all you need is an image file of it to start off with. So if that's like, most image files are like JPEGs. So if you have a JPEG of your logo, you or we could work with that image to be able to convert it to what it needs to be to either be engraved or cut on a laser or something like that. And yeah, bringing it into the makerspace on the flash drive is the ideal way. If you don't have a flash drive, you can also just log into your email on our computer as well and download it from there.
Are there any material charges for 3D printing?
That is a good question. Thank you. So we offer 20 grams free a day. And so 20 grams would probably be around something like this size, maybe a little bigger. You could print free a day. After that, it is going to be 5 cents a gram. And so it's pretty much just at cost for us. It is much more affordable than going somewhere else or like ordering it online and having them ship it to you, because it's pretty much just material cost. And so yeah, 5 cents a gram, for anything over 20 grams.
Yeah, I was wondering, you mentioned there's a bunch of different locations for the library. Are all of these programs and machinery and stuff available at all the libraries, or specific ones have specific programs?
So mostly specific libraries will have specific programming. Sometimes it will be all across the district, but a lot of the time, if it's makerspace or studio related, it will be at one of the locations that has those spaces there or adjacent to it. So Library 21C right now has a lot of our classes and programs related to these spaces because it is one of the larger libraries and it has the space to offer those. And so, yeah, most of the ones related to the makerspaces are going to be at Library 21C, East Library, and Sand Creek Library, which is kind of north, middle, south of the county. Yeah.
Hi, I teach sourdough bread classes, and I know that there's a possibility I could do that in the Manitou space, but you also mentioned 21C, but you said it was at the beginning stages. Could I do that, or it won't be till later?
So right now, it is only being used for library programming. I honestly can't really say if it will be able to do that in the future. I think it would be great if it could, because yes, you are correct. They do have that kitchen down at Manitou Arts Center, and it does operate a little differently than that right now, especially since it's in the beginning stages. But that is a very good question, and something we do get asked about the kitchen quite often. So.
All right, I'd love to talk about the Knights of Columbus Hall a little bit more. I do a lot of consulting for events, and a lot of people don't know that I tell them these are our tax dollars at work. This space is prepaid by us, so we can use this space.
Exactly.
Someone had to leave, but she wanted to know, I know there's multiple rooms, but the large room, what's the capacity of that? And I know that it has unique business hours that the rest of the libraries don't. So can we just talk about Knights of Columbus a little bit here before we do the next question?
Yes. And I am going to bring up their website because I don't actually work there a lot. But I can easily take you guys there to answer that. Oh, I'm not on the internet. Cool. I'm assuming it's the next S.
Yeah, it's the next S, but the password's incorrect.
Oh.
So capital THE, capital N, 3, XTUS.
And so, a quick way to find things on the library site, because the library site is huge, I just use the search bar.
And I don't know how good you are at multitasking, but we could maybe take some other questions too if you're able to still navigate that. I've got a line of questions, so I've got this.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not showing up there,
Right.
but
We can come back to Knights of Columbus, though. Do you remember the capacity of that large room? Is it 100 and something? And I'll come up and
it
help
is
you.
definitely over 100 for sure. I've seen tons of people in there. It's probably close to 250 or something like that. I don't want to say the wrong number.
Right.
It's not on the main page here. So but the contact for that.
Judy's fixing it. She has the remote. Yeah.
I took it out of PowerPoint and it made it angry.
We'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
so we'll come back to that. Did you have a different question here?
I have another quick question. For rental equipment on photography and videography, is there like a hold, a deposit on that, and memory cards? Is that included, or?
So there is no hold or deposit that you have to put to reserve this equipment. You go online and you fill out a form, and then that form goes to the studio, and they email you back to either confirm the days or tell you the days are full or whatnot. And so, there's no cost to that. And I am fairly certain that most of them do come with SD cards with the cameras to use. And then you can transfer it to a computer and then give it back to us. So totally.
Do they make you do the orientation still? I did that before COVID. Do they still have you do that?
So no, there is
Okay.
no longer a mandatory studio orientation.
Okay.
Yeah.
A comment. I did the audio portion of my book, Money Sense for Young Professionals, at the library, and it was a huge learning curve for me, but the staff was extremely helpful.
Awesome.
It's a very good resource.
Thank you. That is great to hear. Cool. I think we got a question up here.
You were talking about classes that are paid for. So those training classes for the software that's hundreds, thousands of dollars, are those paid classes or are those free classes?
So they are free classes. They are no cost. The only thing that I talked about in this entire presentation that would cost money is the charging for the 3D printing filament. For, like, let's say the laser or something like that, you would need to provide your own material. We have like little test pieces of wood that we can give people, so you don't have to start off using your expensive stuff. You can test it. But yeah, so the classes that the library offers for the training on software or machines, you can just come, you just register and attend those. And then the LinkedIn Learning online tutorials as well. All you need to do is access that through the library website with your library card number, and it's no cost to access those. Does that answer your question? Cool.
Okay, so again, our tax dollars at work, there are certain limitations. You said the buttons, we could get 10 for free. So if we needed
Yes.
100 and we came 10 days in a row, then we would have, that fits within the guidelines, right?
Correct, yes. And then
and
I
I
think it's
know-
like 10 cents a button or something like that. But yes, we
Okay.
do have people who come in every day until they've made all the buttons they need, and then they're off. So,
Nice.
yeah.
And similarly with printing, we can do so many pages of print per day and then just pay above that.
Correct.
I
I think it
another
actually moved to week as well instead of day. So now library card holders get $7 of printing a week. So you can come in and do it in one big batch instead of having to come back every day to do 4 pages.
And I do know the studio, you used to have to bring your own memory equipment. But if that has changed, that would be good to know. So we can just kind of verify that later.
Yeah, I
Nico
should
has a
probably
question.
triple check on that.
Yeah, are there any other maker spaces other than 21C or like any other places that have laser cutters specifically?
Yes. So besides Library 21C, there's going to be the East Library and the Sand Creek Library. Both of those have the laser engravers and cutters. They are a little bit smaller capacity. The one at 21C is 12 by 18. And the ones at East and Sand Creek are 12 by 24. So just a little bit smaller, but they are the same company, and they are just as capable as the one up north. I think the Mac has its own laser cutter as well. Don't quote me on that. I don't really go down there a lot, but I know the three at the library are easy to use and easily accessible.
Do some of these devices sometimes have a line? Can you make an appointment to use a particular machine, or do you just have to wait if you get there?
So we highly encourage everyone to make reservations for the machines. We have an online reservation software because they do get used quite often. Each machine in each person is guaranteed a certain number of reservations in a certain amount of time, and then after that you can still do walk-ins. And so if you're working on a big project that's going to take multiple visits, you can, like let's say on the laser, you can use your 2 guaranteed reservations, and then after that it'll be walk-in only. And since we have multiple locations, if one location is busy and full of reservations, you know, one of the other spots might be available and open, so you can just go to one of those other places. Because like I said, Library 21C is the most popular one, but the ones at East and Sand Creek can do the same things.
Awesome. I want to go back to the Knights of Columbus, but are we able to get this? Did we unplug it? And
Yeah, I
plug it
unplugged
in?
and plugged it back in.
You got another question, Matt? If you guys have a question, just raise your hand. I keep a mental note of the line. So.
Do you have, is there a way to deal with like compatibility issues on computers going from like a PC to a Mac or something like that? Does the library have both?
So yes, the library does have both. Honestly, I'm not a Mac user, so I'm not totally sure. But at Library 21C, we have Macs, and they do have a majority of those softwares on it. We have the Adobe suite on Macs, which includes like Premiere and Illustrator. We have some audio editing software on one of the Macs, and we also have some video editing software outside of Premiere. I think it's called Final Cut. We do have that at one of our Macs at 21C.
Where's your slides? I just want to kind of mention.
Oh yeah, just click on the yeah. Yeah, the trackpad on those is not very.
So Matt has the microphone. If anyone else has a question, they can pass it around.
You won the you gotta take it around now.
Hi, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say thank you because a lot of this information I did not know, and it's really good to know that a lot of these resources are available, either free or cheap, because it's really expensive to do all this stuff. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. The makerspaces and studios have been around in the library for, oh man, well, pretty much since I started working there. And so it's been a long time, but yet there are still so many people who don't know, you know, or are just now learning about it, which is why we are trying to kind of expand our outreach efforts for the creative services to get the word out, to share with more people in the community so that they can come and use them. Because yeah, it's awesome, and we want as many people as possible to come make cool things.
So I've got two questions actually. So one, I can't wait till we get the Knights of Columbus Hall up there because we are trying to book an event for 250 people and we're having a difficult time finding space.
Okay,
so
cool.
I know we're getting the website up, but do you know if tables can be set in there or it's more of auditorium style or for dinner kind of thing?
So I have seen tables in there, and I've seen it auditorium. I'm fairly certain that you can definitely put tables in there.
Does the library have tables?
I know they have the rectangle ones. Yeah.
Okay. So Knights of Columbus Hall, minimum capacity 10, maximum capacity 195. This room is available to reserve 12 times. Well, this is the rule for all of the reserved spaces. One library card holder can reserve a space 12 times over a 6-month period with no more than 4 consecutive weekends, Friday and Saturday allowed. So this Knights of Columbus, the big hall, is available Tuesday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with 72 hours notice pending management approval. Oh, I clicked a button. Hold on a second. It's a very sensitive mouse here. A maximum of 8 hours per day, and it's available on a limited basis with 1 month's advance notice for the longer hours. So Thursday, Friday, you can do 5 to midnight, Saturday, 8 to midnight. So after our meeting requests have, again, a minimum of 10. This entire building not only has the hall, but it also has another room that max capacity is 17 and another room where the max capacity is 10.
Million Cups dance party.
Totally. So yeah, I was a little off, but yeah, 195.
And then, again, I just know this because I do a lot of events. They open up for the community 6 months in advance, the space halls. So it opens up to the library staff and classes before that. So if you go in right at 6 months and you're like, how could someone else have booked this? The library booked it because they have the open window first. So you might get bumped if you have an ideal day. If the library has something going on that day, then you can't do your thing.
Yes, but we do try and have this building available and accessible for the community. So that's one of the main reasons that we renovated it and reopened it back up. So, yeah.
And then one more question. So getting back to the industrial kitchen, I've done some of those cooking classes around town. They're a lot of fun. They're a little bit pricey, but does the library then also do those kind of cooking classes, or is it more of an industrial kitchen tool kind of class?
So we are just now starting to provide some of the kitchen programming. We've only done 2 so far, and they have been pretty light on the use of the actual kitchen equipment. I think we did like an after school snack one, and we're about to do like a naan and hummus bread one, but I anticipate it expanding to do more of those culinary type classes into the future. We hired an awesome executive chef from town to like run this space, and he's a super cool guy, and it's awesome when he lets us taste his experiments.
Thank you, Robert. Why, yes. What can we, as a Colorado Springs business community, do to help you?
Awesome. So I want to get the slides up because I made a slide for that.
That's okay. You can just read it to us. What you got?
Cool. So I put 3 things on here. So 1 is going to be word of mouth. You all just heard me give you guys this little talk this morning. Go out and share this information with your friends, with your business partners, with your employees, with your family, people that come in. Hey, did you know the library has maker spaces? Did you know the library has studios? And so that is a great way that you could help us, is by word of mouth, and also sharing experiences. Like, thank you, sir, for sharing how you use the library to record that audiobook. That's great real world application that other people can be like, oh, hey, he went and used that to do this. Maybe I can go there and use it to do this. So awesome. And then getting a library card. So we love when people get library cards, and to access all this stuff, that's all you need. So yes.
Ben, that was amazing. Thank you very much. Here is your 1 million cups coveted cup. So thank you for presenting. That was so much good information. So let's give Ben a hand. And I'm sure you're going to have a line of questions still coming after this. So before we get to our community announcements, I'd like to thank our media sponsor. So Kevin, if you wouldn't mind, get a look at this fancy stuff here. He knows how to use that stuff, so if you need some questions answered.
Hey everyone, my name is Kevin. Like he said, my company is Fedde Studios, and I do video, audio production. I do photography. I do live stream stuff, and I do drone, photo, video. So if you need help with any of that, definitely let me know. Huge nerd over here. Love all that. Woohoo!
Thank you, Kevin. Do we have any first timers here by show of hands? All right, we've got a few. Thank you guys for being here. And also, if you are an organizer or alumni organizer, please raise your hand. So we have 1, 2, 3. So these are the people that you want to talk to if you want to get up on this stage, so we can help you through all of that. So if anybody has community announcements, now's the time to line up and let the community know about what's going on. How are you? You're first.
Thank you, Flip. So last time I was up here, I mentioned an event we're doing on October 5th. The date has since changed. Our Spark the Springs event is going to be October 12th, Wednesday, October 12th, at Burger Hall at UCCS now. So the event has changed date and location. So if you guys are interested in signing up, come talk to me afterwards and we can make sure you guys register. And another thing that changed is there is no longer a ticket price. It is going to be a free event. So we want all of you to be out there and join us. And as well as Samantha has joined our team to help us plan this event. So it's going to be awesome, guaranteed. But thank you.
All right, and Kevin, what I was trying to say,
Sorry, Carla. Yeah, so the event is a celebration of entrepreneurship here in Colorado Springs. We have a program called Torch Grants and the Venture Attractor. And so this year we gave out our first 3 Torch Grants, which are $45,000 non-equity grants, originally $50,000, some accounting mix-ups. But anyways, we're giving out 3 non-equity $50,000 grants, for lack of a better term. And this event is going to be a time to celebrate entrepreneurship here in Colorado Springs, our ventures through the Venture Attractor, and small businesses and young startups in entrepreneurship. So if you want to network, meet other people, learn more about the entrepreneurship community, this is the place to be, for sure. So October 12th, Burger Hall at UCCS campus. And I can give you my card afterwards and I can get you the registration link.
all right, Kevin, I was giving you a plug, but Ben, fantastic presentation. Thank you. Love what the library does. But because there's such a long wait sometimes for those video services and such, call Kevin. Also, I wanted to announce that on August 27th, it's Small Business Night at the Switchbacks. So please get your tickets. We don't have any. Sometimes I've got free tickets. You guys all know that through the Better Business Bureau. We don't have those this time. But please go to Switchbacks. Get your tickets for Small Business Night. We, the Better Business Bureau, will have 2 tables there, and we've got lots of great giveaways. So we've got some of our accredited businesses that are giving. We've got like a facial peel. We've got like this really cool camping solar battery, and we've got chiropractic services, dry needling. We've got like little bee earrings. We've got all kinds of wonderful stuff to give away. So August 27th, Switchbacks.
Thank you, Carla. Let me grab this. So tonight, it's the 3rd Wednesday of the month. So tonight is Nerd Night at Kawadi, 6:30 p.m. I believe what we have for tonight's Nerd Night is somebody's going to talk about the myths of dental health. So the do's and don'ts of dental health. We have Q. How many of us know Q? Q is going to be talking about lucid dreaming and the science behind lucid dreaming. And then we have Trent Bunnell from the cybersecurity is going to talk about the myth of privacy and what we can do to try to get our privacy back. So that's a Nerd Night tonight. And then on the last Monday of the month, we have Memoirs, True Stories Unfiltered. This month's theme is What's Your Reason? That's this month's theme. And we're still looking for a storyteller. So if that theme hits you in the soul, please connect with me for Memoirs, which is the last Monday of the month at Kinship Landing. And now I'm going to hand it off to Nico, who is our coffee sponsor, so that he can get his time.
Thank you, Flip. Cool. Hello, I'm Nico. I go by the Growing Guru, and I run Ghost Print, which is a eco-friendly social enterprise which has sponsored the coffee today. So we not only have a program which is an eco-friendly landscaping company That's where we generate our revenue from. We also are able, with that revenue, to sponsor awesome community projects. Like right now, we're working with the Village High School, which is just up north in Colorado Springs, to help them get a ghost print ecosystem, which is basically a shipping container sized greenhouse and biodigester combined to turn their food waste into clean energy, so energy security, as well as grow more food with that food waste. So that's what we're doing in Colorado Springs. If you have any ideas or need any landscaping, feel free to reach out to me.
And let's keep our hands together as we introduce Judy of The Next Us, who's going to enthrall us with a poem and then tell us more about what's going on here at The Next Us. So, Judy.
From high-end practitioners that offer each their own range of health, wellness, and fitness services and offerings, to consultants, coaches, and many self-driven businesses that have jump-started and launched, networked and merged, or expanded. And we are rooted in already locally established entrepreneurs who continue to thrive, as around each other, each of us, together, we all evolve. Each of us has our own bright to bring to light. We each have a myriad of skills, and we learn from each other as we come in and grow, each on our own path, all on our own terms. So welcome you guys to The Next Us. Thanks for being here. We're happy to have you. You'll see me stacking the chairs here in a little bit and setting things up. Flip and I are going to get started with a free flow fitness offering just after this on Wednesdays at 11. An hour of fitness, so you can be inspired by a couple of different fitness formats, but you can also come in and do your own routine. So it's kind of the invitation to, have a community around you for personal health and wellness, but not necessarily a rigid guide that you have to follow exactly. So free flow fitness at 11 o'clock in this room every Wednesday.
Thank you, Judy. All right, so with that, it's time to get to know each other a little bit better. A few minutes of networking. 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. That's all. So make sure you get to know each other very quickly. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. And here's to business growth. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.